Thankfully, it looks like we saved. Probably should have gone for the crack shot first, considering my aversion to being up close and personal with enemies. Good companion ability usage. Alright. Unsanctioned mining gear. Interesting. Interesting. That's what we're looking for. Hunting rifle ultra. Okay, so hyper, actually. So I am currently on an ultra. Hyper is the level above this. Oh, this is perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. Thank you, Crackshot. So now I need to focus on actually finding the good mods for that as well. The good mods that we already have on this, we ended up deciding that Extendo Sight was good enough to take, as well as the Mag 2 Power Plasma, as well as the Quiet Muzzler for firing noise. I'll probably end up Quiet Muzzling the second one as well. That's tended to be pretty useful for us so far. It'll be a little bit more useful. Once told to attack a target, they continue to fight until combat is over. They always engage and attack when the player enters combat. Got it. Okay, so I'm going to set both of you to defensive so that I have the ability to pick off more targets from far away. I remember you offloaded a lot of mods onto your ship storage. Yeah, I should go back and check that. That's probably where I really want to do my upgrades, right? Security Blade Ultra. So it's a bunch of Adrena time and a little bit more Adrena on Freighter. Okay, so we have a named character here. Infested Flechette Gun. It's a shotgun. Proof that you should always maintain your weapons with Spacer's Choice cleaning brand agents. I imagine this is probably going to shoot out some of the critters that have been experimented on in some way. Unfortunately, we don't actually have the ability to get that dealer's stash key card, so we're going to have to find that and come back. And then just a quick survey of this area. I know. I'm not... to a degree, I am actually not capable of leaving these areas without checking every corner. It seriously would unsettle me. And also, while I check these corners, as I mentioned before, I develop a kind of like map awareness sense here. So I'll have the ability later on to know when I get quests that prove all, like go all the way around Gorgon, you know, fetch quest this, go find the dealer's stash, those kinds of things. I'm going to know where those are already. So it front loads a lot of the exploration, certainly. Please check all the things. Continuing to check all the things.
I heard stories about Spacer's Choice running some old operation out on an asteroid. Never imagined I'd see it for my own self.
Whatever happened here must have been real bad. Spacer's Choice just up and abandoned it.
Okay, that's far enough away that I probably just want to... Oh, hang on. Okay, that camp seems empty. A bit more level head, as well as 73 armor. Is that relevant to me? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's enough to just use that single piece of armor on someone. There's a pickaxe. Again, I'm going to take the pickaxe just in case there is like a specific interaction with the pickaxe. Advanced defensive. No, I'm not going to put a advanced defensive that only has 24 armor on it. What are you kidding me? Also gives us plenty of time to chat you up, Raps. I'm assuming that is chat to you. And fair. I am more than happy to juggle like talking with chat whilst I am doing these kinds of things. It's just while I was reading the dialogue in specific at the very start that that I start to drift away, you know? Otherwise, I would never make it through any dialogue. All right. Sprat's still up in that corner. Where is the map leading this? So up in that corner is leading into another facility. Or rather into a cavern, if the topographical map is to be believed, rather. I mean, we're far enough away from where the game is actually telling me to go. Let's at least go up here first. Just in case it gives us a better vantage for firing on the others. Okay, there's sprats in this area, but basically nothing else. In Downfall, is Guardian an auto win, particularly if presented with a beam build, or just the most straightforward? You think it's the most straightforward? I would have thought Slimebound was the most straightforward. Although I've played a lot more Guardian. See, the reason I can't answer this directly is because I have played a lot more Guardian than any of the other classes, and I was cuckoo for Cocoa Pops about that Guardian mod. I was all on board for a huge period of time. I played it a lot off camera as well. Like, it captured me for a very long period of time. So the builds that we've had in that so far have been able to exploit the fact that I knew so much about that character already. There were a couple of changes, but honestly, that character is mostly in the same state as when I last played them. I like that being in defensive mode no longer weakens you. Well, weaken, right? It wouldn't weaken you. It would just make you deal 25% less damage. Slimebound did change a lot. Agreed. Yeah. Slimebound's like command kind of like archetype is newish. Can I turn my light on? Does anyone know the binding for flashlight in this game? Up. Settings, controls, key bindings, flashlight. There's gotta be one, right? No? I'm certain we had a light that we could use in rooms like this. Use interact, turn right, turn left, auto sprint, total. Well, no, never mind. I am super excited to get to that same level of knowledge with the Hexaghost. I mentioned it earlier as someone was asking me which my favorite character in Downfall at the moment is, and which my favorite... Or rather, they were just asking which my favorite character is at the moment. Which is probably the Guardian. But I did have to tag onto the end. Hexaghost is coming up on the rear, like, real quick. As I learn more about Hexaghost, I love more and more about Hexaghost, you know?
Strangest place to set up a workstation.
I'm going.
Get you all in this building, actually, this time. So equations for some... Well, not equations, it's a diagram for some sort of a device. It's like a speaker connected to... I'm not going to be able to decipher that. Let's see if Virtual Shop's datapad gives us any information about it. Birdie. Lord damn it, Birdie. What'd I tell you about pestering Maurice? He's not interested. If you want to scare him off the project, you're gone. I don't care if you're my kid's sister. We need his research. We don't need you. Got it? Good. I took a look at the preliminary schedule you sent over. You got all the tasks tracked, but the timing is off. For one thing, you have me finishing the metal case and fabrication after the package is supposed to be complete. Find me on my workstation, the Mind and the OCI, when you get off shift. I'll go over the rest of my criticisms in person. By the marvelous moustache of Excelsior, Gil. P.S. How long do we have to keep saying that? It's ridiculous. Who's addressed to? Birdie and Gil. Got it. Someone was trying to inject their work with a drain of time. See if that pumped up their studies. The Exhilarating Adventures of Archibald Excelsior, Issue 3. A comic from the cult classic Ace Exterminator series, tragically cancelled after its brief 4-issue run. Scribbled in felt tip on the comic's spine is the word "and." After pacifying the Canaan threat, rejuvenated hero Archibald Excelsior is deployed to the subterranean metropolis of Hephaestus to quell the rise of super-villainous a cappella band, the Sprat Pack, when a new foe arrives to stop him. Buff Hardman, acquisitions agent of Super Dark Reclamation, will stop at nothing to acquire Hephaestus' mining's productive corporate enclave for his shadowy shipping concern. When Excelsior interferes with Hardman's plans to mind control the Sprat Pack, Hardman turns his dastardly mind control ray on Excelsior. Will our mustachioed hero free his mind from Hardman's power with his newly healed heart intact? Find out this and more. I imagine we're probably going to find a bunch of those while we're tracking down the story of Gil and Birdie. Kind of thing that they typically set up in this game. Panel that we can't use. All stuff that we've already previously explored. Okay, I feel pretty comfortable that we have a lock on this area already. Is there anything outside of that that I could explore at the moment? Not really. Okay, so this is just the rear of the facility. That's sealed, so this is an area we come to significantly later. Archibald Excelsior is like the opposite of Reginald Hammerschmidt. It should be, right? If I hadn't already tried to go for the kind of like blustering old British voice, it would make total sense. That kind of thing, you know. The kind of man that starts like a ton in an engine as you're starting to talk to him. That kind of thing. Hup. Totally forgot that there are enemies down here that I didn't want to engage. All right, y'all.
I'm going.
I get you to go way over there so I can just stay here and... One. On. Oh, really? Just cannot hit the crack shot for the absolute life of me right now. There we go. Alright, then we have one target so far. But they are a crack shot. That work? Not enough. We also have a bunch of things that give us extra restoration of our TTD cooldowns. That is time dilation. So those restore a lot on kill. Ooh, another hunting rifle ultra, like that. Those restore on kill, which should make it very easy for me to just kind of chain off a bunch of kills with that at the moment. It feels like we're not going to have to respec, which I'm so glad to know. It'll be like a very long kind of working out what we should ultimately do kind of period that we get to skip over here instead. All right, perfect. So this is the back entrance to that elevator. Got it. This is just unlocking a later part of the level to make it a little easier to get to. Perfect. Of course, we'll go for the full leap before we go down. And then, honestly, we are now at the point that the only way that we have to go is directly to where they are telling us to go. So I believe we have exhausted every other path. Leaded Mark II armor, as well as a plasma cut of titanium, though. I mean, that's possibly what we go with on Pavati now. What I need at this point is just an upgrade for Felix's toss ball. Love discovering you don't have a critical flaw in your build. Yeah, exactly. I realized in the first couple combats, like, hang on, my build is stronger than this. What is happening here? And I forgot that it was based around being a Reaper. Because Reaper gives you a refresh of your TDD cooldown while you are killing enemies. Okay, we have enough Vortex Mace Ultras now. Alright. Back out to him. Really curious as to why Frida was named. I imagine Frida is going to be named in a quest in the future by someone who's like, you know, I was a drug smuggler. I got locked in this cabin. I'm gonna be killed by the enemies outside. God, I hope Frida has the ability to find this key and finish the shipment or something like that, right? And then we take that key and then we go back to the shipment. It's gonna be part of a mission. All right, y'all, in here.
No problem. I'll head over.
But yes, they were named Frida because Frieza was already taken by Dragon Ball Z. A good call right there, silly. Their first name was going to be Cell. See how that one wasn't going to work out as well. Sentry Saber Mark III. We have wanted one of those prior. True Armor Gold. Probably not that, though. God, there's so much medicine here. Extremely far too much. Speed Grip, happily. All right. As expected, this is just a easier way to get to part of the later area. But if nothing else, it is also a way for me to get back to the start area where I actually need to follow down the main quest line. Isn't it? Right. Up and down, those both lead to the same path. Like, we could try and just go straight all the way through there. Oh, God. I can't explore the entire island first. All right. Take these mag picks at the absolute least. Can we lower this at all? No, it's totally broken, so we need to go down from the top side if we want to loot that. Fine. Fine, we'll do it the old traditional way. So many drugs, no wonder there were so many accidents. These people were higher than the asteroid shields. Exactly. They seriously polluted themselves. Specifically with the adrenochrome. All right.
Come here. Let's have a chat.
Sure. What's up, man?
All right, inspection time. Look at my eyes for as long as you can without blinking. Starting now.
Keep looking into his eyes.
Good. Look up. Now look down.
You have pretty eyes.
Thank you. Got 'em from my mother. You're doing swell. Now, name and occupation.
Ryan, Captain the Unreliable.
Good enough for me. You're cleared to pass. That was a sanity check. If you had changed like the others, it'd be in your eyes. You'd also be drooling, cursing, and making a mess of the place. Welcome to the Sprat Shack. You can head on downstairs.
Here's the information we were looking for. What exactly did you mean when you said people had changed?
Every day, salvagers and scrappers set out to comb the ruins and make their fortune. The ones who come back, they aren't always the same men or women who left. They change. Never for the better.
What happens when people change?
First, they get real twitchy and paranoid, shouting at folks who aren't there. Then they smell like they soiled themselves, on account of how they soiled themselves. After that, they're gone. Nothing but animals wearing human skin. Seen it happen myself. It's never pretty.
Where exactly am I, Von Hoffman?
This is the Sprat Shack, the most remote watering hole in the system. Rule number 1, no fighting. Rule number 2, wipe your feet. on the way downstairs. We're the only hospitable place on this rock. I want to keep it that way. That's why we have rule number 3. When people change, they stay outside, where they belong.
Let me ask you something else, Vaughn.
Just don't ask me to dance.
All right. See you around then, I guess. That's exactly what I was going to ask. What do you do around here, bud?
Bouncer, bodyguard, law enforcer. I make sure the Sprat Shack gets only the highest caliber of clientele.
That's us.
Highest caliber of what? Is he talking about guns?
We get a lot of brand-loyal corporate types, and a lot of cutthroat freelancer types. Both sides have their share of dirty scoundrels. And I hate dirt.
What kinds of people come to Sprat Shack? I know you just told me, but why don't you reiterate?
This is a sublight bar, so most of our regulars come to plunder the old labs. The facility's locked up behind miles of red tape, so progress is slow. A lot of time to drink and reevaluate, then venture out and try again.
What do you know about Gorgon, though?
Something bad happened here. Spacer's Choice was developing chemicals. The kind with nasty side effects.
Can this colony have one research facility developing something without horrible, face-melting side effects? Is that so much to ask?
Marauders outnumber the rest of us 10 to 1. Either they came from Gorgon, or something draws them here. I don't know which is worse. This place is under a dark cloud, stranger. That's all I know. If you want the history of the Sprat Shack, talk to Lex behind the bar.
Perfect. We'll do then.
Stay cool.
You too. Alright. No extra mods over here. Yeah, but unfortunately we are in the position that taking things is now stealing. So I'm going to just quickly do a little bit of a surveil to see if there's anything that is actually worth stealing. Otherwise, you know what? You can actually keep your stuff. Revolver Mark III. Nope.
Now this looks like a real dive. Hey, I wonder if they got those floorboards that creak when a stranger walks in.
Oh, ugh. This place smells like Felix's bird.
He's right there, Pavani. Hey, Lex.
Welcome to the Sprat Shack. First one's on the house, and I won't even water it down. What'll it be?
Whiskey. I'm feeling refined.
Bottoms up. I assume you're here for salvage.
Ooh. Not exactly. Can you explain what you mean?
Most of my regulars are sublight scavengers. They pick over the ruins of Gorgon, spend their earnings at the bar, and head back out the next day. Vicious cycle, but that's life. You're the first new face I've seen in a while.
You know anyone named Lucky Montoya?
Lucky? Sure, I knew him. He could get a little dramatic at times, but he was a good guy.
Was?
Heard he took on a dangerous job. Spent a lot of time coming and going from the Office of Creative Incubation, just down the road.
So that's the OCI. Got it. Go on.
The way he talked about the job, you just knew Lucky had hit pay dirt. Not that I was jealous. Around here, that sort of luck can be hazardous to your health. Awful shame about what happened to him.
Lucky ran out of luck. Yeah, the very first thing that we got was a message from Lucky with his severed arm attached to a transmitter, which was telling us that he had run out of luck. He was never really skilled. He just bumbled his way through the universe, but he ran out of the ability to do so. What happened?
You really want to hear my story? Law. Most everyone around here is sick to death of it by now. Last I saw of Lucky was a few days ago. I went outside for a smoke and a stroll, and I saw this wild canid dragging a bloody limb. So I kicked the canid, scared it off.
Buzzer1 in chat says, gotta hand it to him. He's still got the transmission out. Huh, gotta hand it to him. Severed hand. Huh, that's a good one, boss. If you weren't here at the very start, that's exactly the line that Felix says in response to you saying basically that to him. Why not let the canid enjoy the juicy limb?
If the bloody piece in question was a raptidon tongue or a mantis leg, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Get this, the canid was chewing on an honest-to-law human arm. Lucky's arm.
Oh, hey, sorry? No, it's good. It gave me the ability to have a callback to that moment. How'd you know it belonged to Lucky?
I'm a bartender. Attention to detail is my middle name. Anyway, the arm was clutching a phonograph that mentioned someone named Alex Hawthorne. I did some poking around, and this Hawthorne has a reputation among the salvagers who frequent the bar. So I packaged up the arm nice and tidy and sent it care of the Halcyon Parcel Service. They even gave me a discount on the hazardous waste removal stamp.
Why bother sending the arm at all?
I figured Hawthorne would want to know what happened to his pal. Help Lucky get his affairs in order, you know. Oh, I hate to see people go with unfinished business.
Where was Lucky staying?
3rd floor. Once I figured he wasn't coming back to pay his tab, I left his room unlocked to air it out. You can help yourself to anything you left behind. Fair warning, I've been letting the regulars use it for a quick lie down. Just wash your hands when you're done. Trust me.
What do you know about Gorgon?
Spacer's Choice used to brew pharmaceuticals in these parts. That's why the asteroid smells like an old gym sock. They say Adrenatime came from here, just down the road at the old R&D lab. Very hush-hush back in the day.
Okay, so Adrenatime is not the product that resulted... Like, Adrenatime is the product that resulted in partially the downfall of this area, but Adrenatime is also used in the rest of the galaxy and had time to proliferate out there. So I don't know if that's what caused the downfall, like the one that we're talking about, the big one. So that's probably a second experiment. Would any of your regulars have any more information about Gorgon?
Roscoe might tell you more. He spent some time around here before the bar opened up. I trust him well enough. There's always Leonora, my favorite customer over in the storage room on the 2nd floor. Keeps to herself and always closes out her tab.
Lenora. She was mentioned in a note prior. What's Roscoe's story?
He's been here since opening day. I think he told me he was some kind of journalist. He got left behind when Spacer's Choice pulled out. And I guess no one's coming to get him.
Poor bastard. You looking out for him?
Roscoe's drinks are on the house. We all know how it feels to get left behind. He'll be all right. He's with the family now, and we take care of our own.
So are you loyal to Sublight or not? I swear she's like said loyal to Sublight things, but also like denigrated the people that she deals with. I guess that's a very Sublight thing, right, to do. Why'd he get left behind?
He didn't tell me and I didn't ask. I'm his bartender, not his human resources rep. If you believe the chatter, a lot of good folks got left behind, and a lot of bad folks made it out. Sometimes that's all there is to it.
What can you tell me about Lenora?
Nice lady. Been coming around a lot these past few months. She isn't with Sublight, but seems to know the lay of the land better than anyone. She spends most of her days drinking alone. I think she's looking to hire someone. If you're open to a side gig.
That's going to be the mission. L, yeah, this is probably L. If the med here got out, says Kusaragi, there would be a lot more mutants out there. The med that or rather what they were working on near the end, I suspect did not get out. I imagine that is part of why they locked the area down. But for Adrenatime already is out there, but there also are a bunch of marauders out there and people who abuse Adrenatime and go mad. So I still think they're kind of separate. Do you know if she spoke with Lucky Montoya at all?
Now that you mention it, I thought I saw those two sharing stories over a pint. Didn't think twice about it. I don't speak ill of the dead, but Leonora deserves better company. That Lucky was no good for her.
Thanks for the tip.
What are friends for, eh?
Any idea where Spacer's Choice shut Gorgon down?
I doubt anyone knows the full story. One day the evacuation order went out. Grunts and lab coats scrambled to get anywhere but Gorgon. And the weirdest thing of all, Adrenatime still hit the market.
I was wrong.
Me, I never touch the stuff. To each their own, but I think it's dangerous.
Strong Reva Miranda vibes, yes. But I think I was wrong. I think it is Adrenatime that we're talking about. So they created mutants in the experimentation process, in the prototyping process. There was a log that we saw before that was talking about the shipment of 100 prototype cartons of Redacted, and then immediately afterwards we saw people talking about prototype Adrenatime, so I imagine it's prototype Adrenatime that we're talking about here. So it's the same product, but it's different formulations of it. Salvagers must be making a fortune off of Gorgon.
Damn right we are. We've got drugs, scrap metal, prototype weapons, drugs, money, and more drugs. When Spacer's Choice evacuated, everyone dropped their gear and ran. Most of it stayed where it fell, and all of it is up for grabs. Of course, the real treasure is whatever's locked up in the old facility. Until someone figures a way to crack it open, we're just sifting through dirt.
Right. Hang on. Are we going to have to get together a group of unlikely companions to invade this, find a way to break into the Sierra Madre, the OCI, and liberate from the vaults all of the most valuable things? Next up, we meet Dog. You were 100% on the same... same brain. No further questions. So you run this place?
Yes and no. The Sprat Shack used to be a shipping and receiving warehouse during the old Project Gorgon days. When Spacer's Choice pulled their guys off-world, Sublight moved in to salvage what we could, and they put me in charge.
I mean, it's still Miranda-like. Part of the premise is they had to get the message out, otherwise they'd be like, to try again. I'll admit, I've only ever actually watched like the Serenity movie once. I've watched the series through a bunch of times, so I know less about Miranda than I know about the rest of the universe, the rest of the verse, rather. Yeah. So Sublight owns the Sprat Shack now?
Yes and no. Rumor has it there's a Sprat wandering around the Groundbreaker, and he's the legal owner of the Sprat Shack. Hagen's idea.
Dare I ask why a Sprat owns this bar?
See, Hagen didn't want a paper trail that led back to her, so she gave the bar to the Sprat. If there were any legal problems with this place, the Sprat would do the time.
You think a Sprat could own Edgewater? Oh. Imagine one wearing Mr. Thompson's little hat.
Hey, Sprats can be real dangerous. I once saw a Sprat cross a guy off. Well, not exactly. Guy I worked with choked on a Sprat bone while he was having his usual saltuna for lunch.
Anyway, that's what the paperwork says. I don't make the rules.
Silly, thank you very much for the gift. Silly, thank you very much for the gift of tier 1 sub to Kucha Lange. Kucha Lange, enjoy your emotes in chat. Welcome to the Republic. How would you even know which Sprat is the right one?
Easy. His name's Matt.
Oh.
The beautiful thing is, no one could tell Matt Sprat apart from an ordinary vermin. I think that's kind of the point, to send the authorities on a wild Sprat chase.
Guess I'll try not to step on him if I happen by the Groundbreaker.
I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. The Sprat Shack's gone through a lot of title holders over the years. As far as business arrangements go, this one's a head-scratcher, but they say it's all above board, so that's what matters.
Catch all the Sprats. Yeah, I imagine we are probably going to have to try and get the deed to this place by going back to the Groundbreaker. It does look like they're throwing out hooks to get you to go to other environments as well, like Byzantium. There are a couple hooks for possibly wanting to be there to learn more about the past of the Ambrose family. Stuff like that. Does Spacer's Choice mind that you're squatting in their warehouse?
Yes and no. We're doing a lot more than squatting. We're classing up the joint, keeping the riffraff outside where it belongs. They didn't even serve drinks until I arrived. Talk about wasted potential.
Can you answer any question without starting with yes and no? Wait for it.
Yes and no.
There we go. Exactly.
And that one was Hagen's idea. She told me that speaking in vague terms keeps you out of trouble. And I don't want any trouble in my place.
Yeah, Hager's never too specific about anything she says. How do you get supplies in and out?
Thirsty people come and go from all over the colony. Mostly on the way to somewhere better. Some are well connected. And not everyone pays with bits. That's how we get the unconventional goods anyhow.
Right.
Sublight keeps us well stocked with the essentials, by which I mean booze.
How about a drink?
Or maybe a sugar sprat pie? Damn it. We're out of those.
Okay, so the unusual goods here. We've got a cat's eye pressure helm. Sneak attack damage plus 25%. We've also got the 51% discount here because it's sublight, so yeah, I'm extremely gonna buy that. So a mining grade helmet for intimidate. So this kind of just looks all standard. And then extra augmented padding, stealth kit. Yeah, no, we've seen all the rest of those. Cool. Bar patron and bar patron.
Quit staring. I ain't here for your entertainment.
You here for salvage or merchandise?
Are you my agent on the ground?
Sorry?
I've been sent to meet a certain someone about a certain piece of merchandise. They're supposed to use a secret code phrase.
Can't help you. I'm just here to drink.
That's the code phrase. It is you.
Quiet down. You're making a scene.
I was kind of hoping that we just overheard a code phrase we were going to be able to use later. Okay. So back of the facility. I'm not going to bother killing the sprats in here. If anything, they kind of seem like atmospheric to leave, considering the name of the bar. I also don't really care that much about stealing, but only if they're really relevant. Okay, so yeah, they're really, really flooding us with whole hunting rifle hypers and Vorse Mace Ultras here. Just an absolute deluge of them. Aww. They're adorable. I almost regret having killed so many of them. Almost. Canopaster on the ground. All right, Raving Drunk.
Where am I anyway? This doesn't look like Byzantium. There's a king of space. Did you know that? Space King.
What else, bud?
You're not drunk. I'm drunk. You have to tell him. Zero G Brew is made of alien milk.
Okay, you're drinking Rizzo Spectrum Red, so that's okay.
What was her name again? Ambrose. Curdle milk with the glare of that woman.
So if you've met Ambrose, you've been on Byzantium, it could be either Minnie or it could be Olivia. It's probably Olivia because Minnie seems quite nice.
I may have been overserved. The board is gonna force everyone into pods. Sound crazy? Oh, you just wait. We'll see who's crazy. I don't even remember how I got here. Fell asleep one night and woke up in a lab.
Also interesting. I love that they're actually giving us world building here as well. So the volunteers from Byzantium are also kidnapped.
I was here before they shut the project down. Started drinking just so I could sleep at night. There's a king of space.
Okay, repeated lines, so we're done.
Space King.
Bar patron, Trixie, Freddy.
Trixie, and worse, a thief.
I can't steal what's lawfully mine, you tangle-footed dimwit.
Bring it up, you two. I've heard more than enough of your shit for one day.
All right, Trixie, what's happening here?
That was my salvage, Trixie. You had no right to it then, and you've no right to it now.
Trufo, thank you very much. Says Hello Rap, just saw your SCS video and decided to follow. Fantastic word. Much appreciated. And Silly also gifted a tier 1 sub to Trufo. Trufo, enjoy your emotes in chat and welcome to the Republic. Thank you, Silly. What's going on here? Wait, hang on. No. Let him talk.
I
I risked my life sneaking around Marauders to claim that wreck. And I didn't see your name on it.
Now you've done it. Eat fist!
All right, that's enough! This is a family establishment! You want to make a mess? You make it outside!
But this was personal, Lex. It's a question of salvage. That wreck was gonna make me a fortune.
Technically, that's business, not personal.
That's what I've been trying to tell him, but he won't listen.
It's the same fight every day. 5 years we've been at this, and we still can't agree on how to properly tag salvage. Now you two listen, this is my place. While you're in the Sprat Shack, you'll sit quietly, or I'll forbid you to come here at all. Is that understood?
Fair's fair. I'll have a stout, and we'll settle this later on our own terms.
It's no good to leave a fight unresolved. If I don't do something, these two are gonna be at each other's throats.
What do you propose?
Would you do me a favor and weigh in as a third party? I can use an unbiased set of eyes on the problem, and an outsider like you fits the bill.
You want me to decide their drunken argument?
If you wouldn't mind.
Why not just get Von Hoffman?
This isn't Von Hoffman material. Calling up Von Hoffman would be like swatting a fly with a sledgehammer.
Mm-hmm. Fine, I'll give it a whirl.
Freddy, Trixie, go on and make your case to the generous stranger.
I'll start, seeing as I'm the one who's been most wronged in this equation.
State your names for the tavern.
Oh, very formal. Freddy the Scab, freelancer for sublight salvage and shipping, same as my father before me.
Junkyard Trixie, also a salvage freelancer, though I've been at it longer than Freddy.
So, just up the road and due east of here, there's a shipwreck lodged in the mountainside, right? I staked my claim on that wreck. Then I wandered in for a drink. An hour later, Trixie swaggers in bragging about her salvage. Ugh, the nerve of some people.
How did you mark the claim?
I climbed on top of it and called out in my loudest voice, "Finders keepers!"
Turn to Lex. Is that legal?
I don't know about legal, but it's legit by sublight standards. Assuming anyone was around to hear it, which we can't know for sure.
Someone must have heard me. They just ain't brave enough to step forward and admit it.
Nod. What's your side of the story, Trixie?
When I found the shipwreck, there were no salvage mark. See, the whole area was teeming with bloodthirsty marauders. So I snuck around and added my tag, clear as day, so no drunken idiots could claim the salvage out from under me, Freddy.
For the record, when I heard the marauders coming, I left. Trixie must have set her mark down after me.
You had your chance to talk.
Sorry, I won't speak out of turn again.
Okay.
Anyway, that's my story, ma'am.
What mark did you leave on the salvage, Trixie?
I drew an X in the dirt, with my toe.
Could the marauders have walked over it by now, or the wind blown it away?
Wouldn't surprise me in the least, but that doesn't mean it ain't mine.
In all my years, I've never heard a more contentious argument. I don't envy your shoulders for bearing the weight of responsibility. You've heard it from them both. So, who gets the salvage?
This was a colossal waste of time. It was a colossal waste of time. Alright. I'm gonna see if this helps at all. I'm gonna pop my bowler hat on and my good clothes.
What are you looking at?
Wait, did I not get to...
Freddy's a blathering idiot, but...
Sorry about Freddy and Trixie. When they're not fighting over salvage, they're fighting over the bed sheets at night.
Junkyard Trixie is the name of my indie hit single. I like it. What you are gonna have to tell me though, Ghost Guardian, because I'm intensely curious. What genre is that indie single? What genre would Junkyard Trixie be? And why would it be a Mumford & Sons song? Those two are a couple?
They like to blow off steam during work hours, but as soon as they clock out, they turn into a pair of kittens. So, what'll it be? Good.
Well, guess I just missed up on the opportunity to solve theirs. Okay, bar patron. I figured what I was probably going to be able to do was going to go and look at the ship itself and try and figure that out from there. Fun Times barrel for extra critical. Still worth, as well as the Taste of Freedom. Anything unique or rare in here? Yeah, Impact Hammer Mark II. If that was Mark III, I would still go for it, but it's not. Silly, thank you very much for a gift of a tier 1 sub to G Dooley. G Dooley, enjoy your moments in chat and welcome to the Republic. And then Boss Pockets. None of these are a key card at all. No, I can bounce out then. And Silly, also, thank you for a gift of a tier 1 sub to Rakavis. Rakavis, enjoy your moments in chat and welcome to the Republic. I presume you mean what genre. You're right. Sorry, I do. What genre would Junkyard Trixie be?
The folks here like strangers? Because some of them are looking at us like maybe not.
Jerome would love this place.
Lenora. Joint actuator. I mean, you know what? Yeah, let's just talk to you
You
first.
don't look like one of the salvagers, no? Don't really seem like the type. You've got the look of someone who's traveled far to get here and whose journey's far from over.
I could say the same about you.
Not me. I'm right back where I started, and the end is almost in sight. Listen to me, being all vague and mysterious. I don't know if you're bound for the old ruins, but in case you are, can you look into something? I'd do it myself, but of course, the Marauders would eat me alive.
Depends on what you need.
Looking for something out there. Been paying Sublight to help me, but they haven't made much progress.
This something must be valuable.
It is to me, but apparently it's junk to Sublight. My husband and I worked on Gorgon during the good times. Jerome was on maintenance duty. I cleaned out test tubes till they sparkled.
Where's Jerome now?
Nowhere good, that's for sure. In his final hours, Gorgon was a war zone. Violence broke out in the labs. The hills were full of marauders. You couldn't take a leisurely stroll without an armed escort. When the order came through to evacuate, non-essential personnel drew a lottery to see who would board the first wave of ships. Jerome won. I lost. As soon as I wasn't looking, Jerome switched our tickets and pushed me to the front of the line. I got to leave. Jerome stayed behind. I never saw him again.
It was very noble of him.
That Jerome always chose the right thing, even when it got him killed. This place is greedy. Took my Jerome, and it would have taken me too. I just want one thing back. His old hip flask. I gave it to him the day we signed our marriage contract, and he carried it wherever he went. I know it's still here.
So we already read the note that gave us information about this hip flask. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about, right? We got a second quest, and we already know pretty much all of the locations and every character and where the things are. What do you think happened to Jerome?
No point in denying it. He died on this rock. Likely torn apart by marauders, unless he took care of himself on his own terms. I don't like to imagine what happened, but I know I have to accept it.
I'll keep an eye out for that flask.
You'd really do that for me? Law, and I'll bet you're worth 10 of those Sublight Sprats. I don't have much, but if you help me, there's a little set aside for the occasion. Jerome used to drink with his buddies in a small kitchen opposite the maintenance shed. Might be a good place to check first.
I think I already did check that one, actually. I wanted to ask you something first.
Yeah?
Did you know Lucky Montoya?
That old flirt? Yeah, I let him buy me a drink or two. He talked my ear off about exciting jobs he'd done. All lies, I'm sure. He fell asleep with his head on my shoulder. That man had baggage like you wouldn't believe. I didn't think anyone could be lonelier than me.
Did he mention anything about the Gorgon research facility?
He bragged about having the key to some sort of maintenance area in one of the old buildings. I never saw it, so I just assumed he was talking himself up. He also asked if I wanted to see something gross and slimy he kept in his room, but I declined, politely.
Was he depressed at all?
He put on quite a front, but I think he was weary, like he'd seen too much and had too little to show for it. Guess we were kindred spirits in a way.
That's all. Thank you for your time.
Sure thing. My condolences if you two were close.
Tell me about your time on Gorgon.
The lab coats kept quiet about the project, but the air was charged with excitement. You could feel it wherever you went. They wanted to change the world. A tenfold boost to worker productivity with no side effects? Who wouldn't salivate at the thought? I don't know what went wrong, but when the shit hit the fan, it sprayed everyone in its path, including me.
Be seeing you. All right. There's earrings there. Just nothing super relevant, it doesn't look like. Bar patron, looking for some bits out of that. Cigarette hider, just making sure that none of these are unique.
Had a punch to it. What did you say it was called?
Lunar Eclipse Mix. It's just pep pills and a 2-hour energy brew. My ex used to have them with breakfast.
Oh yeah. Whatever happened to that guy?
I broke it off. He wouldn't take his hat off in the bedroom.
Joe Cocker?
Every time I see a Spacer's Choice advertisement, it's like he's staring at me from behind the screen.
Did you used to go with Martin? Or I guess it could be anyone else that the Spacer's Choice get to wear the hat constantly. But I wonder if we can tell Martin that we've found his ex.
Who's this now? Wonder if they could. Nah, who am I kidding?
Hey, Roscoe.
Holy shit, a fresh face. Haven't seen your like in years. Don't know what brought you to the most dangerous corner of this solar system, pal, but you're welcome here. Oh, you talked to Lex yet? She tell you to keep it civil? You wouldn't guess to talk to her, but that lady's got a mean left hook.
I talked to her. She said you was some kind of journalist?
Some kind. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Got into reporting thinking I was gonna be some sort of public intellectual. What a joke. Spent 95% of my time playing stenographer to the board, and the rest writing puff pieces on the chairman's latest beard trim. Real life and death shit.
My perception's real low, so I'm not going to be able to even pump it up to that. So, how's a Byzantium journalist end up stuck in this backwater?
When the project fell apart, Spacer's Choice refused to extract me. They left me here to rot. Listen, I hate asking for handouts, but my back's against the wall here. If you're going back out there, do you think you'd be willing to do an old bastard a small favor?
Helping out old bastards is 80% of my job. What do you need?
The other 20% is ordering me around.
Well, I've been trying to get away from this rock for 5 lobby fucked years, but I can't stay gone.
What's that?
Told you I was a journalist, right? I was here on a story back when Project Gorgon was active. I was doing an interview series for Spacer's Choice. Recorded them all on these little portable phonographs. But when everything fell to shit, Spacer's Choice wouldn't let me leave. Terms of my reporting contract unmet, they said.
You hid them, and now you need me to get them for you. That about cover it?
Right on the money. Look at me. I'm no fighter. I've never even touched a gun. But you're just the right amount of rough around the edges. Help me get my recordings back so I can finally get the hell out of here.
That's just a euphemistic way of calling me a jerk, Roscoe. It's your lucky day, Roscoe. I'll get those recordings for you. I don't do charity cases. What's in it for me? Why stash the recordings? Why stash the recordings?
Someone had been trying to steal them since the day my assistant and I started interviewing. Couldn't even keep them in my safe. They always found a way in. So I took to hiding them all over the fucking asteroid. Thought I was so clever. What a fool I was.
Corporate espionage? Another one of the companies wanting to take the recordings? Can't be Spacer's Choice. I mean, could be. Trying to cover it up super early on. But then why would they have a reporter in the area at all? You mentioned an assistant. Where are they now?
Oh, Georgie? Yeah, she helped me with interviews. A real whiz with the portable recorder tech, too. When things got crazy, I shoved her onto the last ship off Gorgon. With any luck, she's safe and comfortable in Byzantium. She tried every which way to stay, but it was my contract keeping us here, not hers. Didn't seem fair she'd have to suffer just because I made a bad deal.
We've also heard of Georgie before. Georgie was in the note that we found in the shipping yard. And that was the kind of love story. I don't think Roscoe was the other person there, though. I think it was Georgie and someone else. Why not just forget the contract and leave?
Oh, I've tried. Make no mistake. I've caught a couple of rides out with sublight folks. But the board's fixers always send me right back. And I'm not about to stand toe-to-toe with marauders just to fulfill a line item on a contract.
It's your lucky day, Roscoe. I'll get those recordings for you.
No shit. That's downright civilized of you. All right. One of them I stashed in the Office of Creative Incubation, in the projector room on the 3rd floor.
Mm-hmm.
I gave another to my friend Birdie to keep in her apartment, just outside OCI's upper entrance.
Why there?
Seems like a good idea at the time. Someone had started a fire, folks were shooting other folks. It was a madhouse.
Got it. Next.
You'll find another in the chem lab.
Okay.
It's in the main lab storage room.
You ran all over Gorgon just to hide your recordings?
Didn't have much of a choice. The primals had gotten loose, couple of them were chasing me. The recordings just ended up wherever I hid.
All right. Easy enough. The others?
The final one is in human inquiry and auditing. It's tucked behind a pipe in observation room B.
Had to refresh before you started talking to Roscoe. May I ask what his deal is? Roscoe is the person that Lex down at the bar downstairs told us is a journalist of sorts. Roscoe was doing reporting on the scene, doing interviews with different people in the Space's Choice Company when people started breaking into his vaults in order to steal his recordings. So he took to hiding them, but he can't leave this area until he gives up those recordings, until he fulfills his obligations to Space's Choice. So we need to find the recordings for them and get them back to him so that he can leave. The observation room, wouldn't someone have seen you?
What with the test subjects running loose, the researchers were surprisingly unobservant.
Got it. I'll be back.
Strength to your sword arm, friend. And thank you.